virtually and in person for tonight's board meeting. At this time, we would like to reconvene the meeting of the Community Unit School District 300 Board of Education for Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Burkett,
Present.
Fiorentino,
Present.
Lamarcus,
Present.
Lindmark,
Present.
Melia,
Present.
Zettler,
Present.
McKinley, present. You have 7 board members present.
Dr. Smith?
At this time, I'd like to invite Principal Angela Hammond from Lake in the Hills Elementary School and her students to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Parents, you're more than welcome to come forward and take pictures and videos.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Smith, families, and colleagues. I'm Angela Hammond, the proud principal of Lake in the Hills Elementary. This year, we've made an intentional effort to amplify student voice by creating leadership opportunities at our monthly assemblies. Today, I'm honored to introduce you to 3 remarkable Leopard leaders who have truly risen to the occasion. First, I would like to introduce Austin Whiteman. He's a 4th grader who took the initiative to draft and deliver an original speech on sportsmanship. By challenging his peers to play with integrity, he's helping us build a stronger, more respectful recess community. Thank you, Austin, for being a Leopard leader. Next, I'd like to introduce Layla Leo, a 5th grader at Lith. During one of our assemblies, she spoke powerfully about the importance of sportsmanship and teamwork. Beyond her leadership here at school, she also served as our representative for Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year. Thank you, Layla, for your leadership. I'd also like to introduce you to Santiago Hernandez, a 5th grader at Lith. We began the school year with a simple mission, greeting our students every morning. Our goal was to inspire them to find their own voices, not just in responding to us, but connecting with one another. I tapped into Santi's expertise, developed through his school podcast called Yapping with Santi, and asked him to create a video message about the power of hello for the school to watch at our first assembly. The impact was immediate. His video sparked a wave of smiles and greetings and has transformed our morning arrivals. Thank you, Santi, for being a Leopard leader. It takes immense courage to stand before your peers and school staff during an assembly. These 3 students haven't just shared messages, they've helped shape our school culture using their student voice. We are incredibly thankful to their families for sharing these exceptional young leaders with us. At this time, I ask all audience members to stand as you are able, and I ask all students to turn and face the flag to lead us in tonight's pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, parents. You should be incredibly proud of your students. You do not need to stay for the entire board meeting, but you can if you would like. Approval of the agenda. There has been a change to the agenda. Item 14, second closed session, is being removed from the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Lamarcus,
Aye.
Melia,
Aye.
Zettler,
Aye.
McKinley, aye. Lindmark,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Burkett.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Dr. Smith?
For tonight's student recognition, I'd like to welcome Mr. Chris Columbaro, Director of Fine Arts, to the podium. He will introduce the Illinois Music Education Association, ILMEA, Junior All-State Festival qualifiers.
Good evening, Board of Education, Superintendent Smith, community members, proud parents, and families. What a great packed house tonight. The performing arts play a vital role in District 300's strategic plan goal to develop the whole child. Through music, our students learn values of creativity, collaboration, discipline, and perseverance. These lessons stay with our students their entire lives. So very proud to begin tonight with some individual recognitions for our middle school students who performed at the Illinois Music Education Junior District 9 Festival. And then we are going to follow these recognitions with 2 of our middle school ensemble groups who performed at the Illinois Music Educators Conference. Achieving this type of recognition is no small feat, whether as an individual or as a large group. In order to participate, these students had to prepare and perform very challenging music, requiring many hours of preparation and dedication. We're going to start tonight with Algonquin Middle School. I'd like to welcome up Algonquin Middle School Principal Jason Lentz to present our Algonquin Middle School students.
We are tremendously proud of our students as she has worked incredibly hard to show her peers and the future students who will attend AMS what it means to not only be talented, but also what it takes to achieve and persevere. Please help me in congratulating Adeline Fleshhood as she represented Algonquin Middle School in the chorus division for the Division 9 Junior Festival.
Next up, I'd like to transition to Dundee Middle School and invite Mike Casper, band director, to the podium to introduce students who participated in the chorus and band festivals.
Okay, students, when I call your name, could you give us a wave? From Dundee Middle School, please help me congratulate the following students who participated in the chorus division for the District 9 Junior Festival. We have Sanvi, Daphne, Ariana, Sophie, Liana, Peyton, and Avery. A special congratulations to Avery, who also participated in the All-State Junior Choral Festival in January. We are also proud of the following students who participated in the band division for the District 9 Junior Festival: Caleb, Mateo, Hannah, Parker, Annie, Xander, and Kaz. These are our DMS ILMEA All-District musicians from Dundee Middle School. And DMS parents, our other group will come through in a few minutes, okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all. We appreciate all this coordination. Again, fantastic recognitions. I'm so glad we've got this amount of students being recognized this evening. So thank you, parents. Thank you, families. Next up, we're moving on to Hampshire Middle School. I'd like to welcome Band Director Melissa Aukus to present our Hampshire Middle School students.
On behalf of Mrs. Truesdale, the choir director at HMS, and Miss Adapp, the orchestra director at HMS, and myself, I would like to congratulate and recognize the following students for their tenacity to do the extra hard work that earned them this award, this awesome experience at the district and state levels. We have Bridget McDonald for the District Festival, Easton Stroh, All-State Choir, Joseph Tejada, All-State Orchestra, and Sadie Bowers, All-State Band. Congratulations.
And for our last middle school with individual student recognitions, we'd like to welcome up Band Director Ms. Hoplin La Morena with our Westfield Community Unit School District, Westfield Community School students with District 9 Festival participation.
Congratulations to Christian Villegas, a 7th grade tuba student who participated in the District 9 Honor Band Festival.
All right, thank you. We are now transitioning from the individual student recognitions to our large group ensembles. You can see the list of names just exploded here in the front of us here. So incredibly proud as a district director of fine arts here to present two of these middle school ensembles who performed at the Illinois Music Educator Conference. These students groups were selected to showcase their talents on stage there. Their performances truly hundreds of hours of rehearsal, preparation, a commitment to their artistic excellence, and a really high standard of level of music education that we provide here in District 300 schools. I couldn't be more proud and would like to welcome back Band Director Mr. Mike Casper from DMS.
John, you want to come down here? Come on down here to this side, yeah. And you just follow him down, yeah. form a second line. Board members, D300 leadership, public, the students here tonight are part of the 62-piece Dundee Middle School 8th grade symphonic band. Students are in this ensemble because they choose to be. Everyone is welcome. In spring 2025, the Dundee Middle School Band Program submitted a recording to the organizers of IMEC for evaluation. It was auditioned blindly, meaning the evaluators did not know the name of the school as they listened to the recording. This is important to mention because other ensembles competing against DMS are auditioned ensembles, meaning those programs select students to be in their band rather than welcoming everyone to be in their ensemble. In the end, Dundee Middle School was one of 2 bands from across the state selected for this honor. We are proud to be a band that welcomes everyone. Our students should be commended for their resilience and their willingness to pursue perfection. Since August 2025, they have spent countless hours practicing as a group and individually, working with professional musicians, hearing feedback from differing conductors, performing additional events, and finding relevance from the music in their own lives. We know our students have learned a great deal from this long-term journey, including skill, knowledge, and affect related to the music and its connection to our everyday lives. During the journey, student voice was considered in the creation of the program. This was the first time in IMEC history that a program was interactive, featuring the intellectual knowledge of our students. Board members, you can find access to that program on the postcard you received that has that. Using that QR code, it has our students actually speaking about the music they perform. So please help me recognize our band, and we're going to go by instrumentation. Students, as I call your name, if you would give everybody a wave so they can see you. We're going to start with our flute section. Please help me recognize Ren Boagas and Kaden Nono. From our oboe section, Daphne Goss and Adeline Slavic. From our bassoon section, Alexa Milokovic. From our clarinet section, Hannah Bernstein, Hasiel Pedroza, Alan Lechuga, Maddox Schroeder, Lexi Ruiz, Annie Ashley, Ariana Ferreira, Sebastian Ohanian, and Tegan Rowe. From our bass clarinet section, Kaz Kapalik. From our saxophone section, Dylan Foster, Xander Lawrence, Dylan Mahalski, Tyson Dombrowski, Mateo Tele, Bert Newman, LJ LaJoya. From our French horn section, Parker Lundry, Blake Borowski, and Robbie Kozarik. From our trumpet section, Lawrence Kilvington, Jaden Soto, Mason Cooper, John Biasotti, Timmy Jaworski, Yug Patel, Madden Leggy, Fidel Guzman, and Miguel Otreres. From our trombone section, Damian Downs, Bernice Lunn, Teddy Ranieri, Christy Chiriak, Sophie Baker, Diego Gonzalez, Zahari Fushti, Vlad Krichovsky. From our baritone section, Marcus Frericks, Brennan Billiard, Ryan Crotty, and Hudson Leggy. From our tuba section, Connor O'Callahan and Daniel Colorado. From our percussion section, Alex Nelson, Kevin Lukes, Lincoln Reed, Lavin Miller, Ariel Ayala, Kenny Komolafe, Kyle James, Emerson Milburn, Wyatt Anderson, Andres Garcia, Kylie Tarrant, Dalton Bradley, our 8th grade symphonic band.
Excellent. The Westfield Jazz Band is our final group that we're recognizing this evening. And again, welcome back, Director Kelly Loblin-Lamarena. Thank you for those of you that helped with logistics this evening, much appreciated. Also on the screen, we have wonderful lists of names of students and some fine work from our district communications department too for these wonderful programs there for that Westfield Jazz Band. So our final group for the evening, congratulations, Westfield.
The students standing before you tonight represent the 20-piece Westfield Community School Jazz Ensemble. This group is a dedicated collection of 6th, 7th, and 8th graders who choose to arrive at school early twice a week, rehearsing before the first bell even rings to learn the complex language of jazz. In the spring of 2025, our ensemble submitted a recording to the Illinois Music Education Association. This was a blind audition, meaning the judges selected Westfield based solely on the quality of the music they heard, without knowing the name of our school or our location. This is an incredibly high bar to clear. Being selected to perform at the Illinois Music Education Conference is the highest honor a middle school ensemble in our state can achieve. Our students should be commended for their bravery, a word we use often in our rehearsal room. In jazz, we ask students to improvise, which means they are composing music in real time, standing up to share their individual voices with an audience. To further push their boundaries, these students performed the world premiere of a piece titled When I Wake Up, which I had the privilege of co-arranging with composer Lo Wood, specifically to expose our students to modern, sophisticated jazz styles. This collaboration was especially meaningful as Lo and I have been friends since first grade. A lesson I wanted to share with all of my students is that music brings people together and is a lifelong art form. This performance opportunity allowed these students to experience this firsthand. From working with professional clinicians to performing for hundreds of music educators across the state, these students have learned that music is a party intended to bring joy to others. They have gained skills in discipline, collaboration, and creative risk-taking that will serve them long after they leave our band room. Please join me in recognizing the Westfield Community School Jazz Ensemble. Jonathan Fife, Arnaldo Garcia, Kyle Headley, Jay Johnson, Aaron Martinez, Luca Mitchell, August Moroz, Lucinda Peretta Lisama, Elza Pavlovich, Sean Pogorzelski, Maximilian Skripchek, Ella Tobiasiewicz, and David Katridge. In addition to performing, congratulations to Luca Mitchell for receiving second place in the arrangement category for the ILMEA State Composition Contest.
For tonight's staff recognition, we'll be celebrating Public Procurement Month. Beginning in March, District 300 will celebrate Public Procurement Month as an opportunity to recognize the outstanding work of our purchasing department. This team plays a crucial role in making sure our staff have the tools and resources needed to support teaching, learning, and daily operations. Their dedication and efficiency, accuracy, and accountability helps keep our district running smoothly. On behalf of District 300, thank you to our purchasing department for its continued commitment behind the scenes.
District 300 community members. All Community Unit School District 300 board meetings follow rules of decorum to ensure a respectful and orderly environment. Everyone in attendance is expected to remain seated, listen respectfully, stay focused on the agenda, and avoid personal attacks, interruptions, or disruptive behavior. This evening, we have 7 individuals signed up for public participation. I will call each speaker to the podium individually. Please share your name and relationship to the district and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Public participation guidelines have been provided to all speakers. Minors must be accompanied by a parent or guardian. The board will consider all comments but will not engage in dialogue during this forum. Questions may be referred to the superintendent or appropriate staff for follow-up. Comments made on behalf of others will only be considered if the board was notified in advance that the individual requested the statement be presented. Charges or complaints against district staff will not be addressed in open session and must be submitted in writing. Disruptive behavior will not be tolerated and may result in removal from the meeting. Thank you for your cooperation. Our first speaker is Lori Parman.
Thank you for letting me speak. I'm Lori Parman. I am a community member, taxpayer, grandmother of students, and former teacher of District 300. Let's see. So the thing that I would like to talk about is that, obviously the situation with the walkouts. I feel that you've lost the academic mission to a certain degree. Our students are struggling to read and write. Only a fraction of 100, 27 out of 100 are reading at grade level. That alone should be the reason why I'm here, but it's not. This is the second time in this school year that District 300 has been the subject of a national negative news story. And it's the same subject, just a different verse. I believe that careless ideology has eclipsed the academic message of the district. Only this time the consequences of this could have been deadly. They weren't, but they could have been. I read those letters from parents begging you to not let this happen, and yet it did. I mean, the walkouts. The responses were feckless, in my opinion. They said it was a student-led activity, when in fact it was a national movement driven by agitators working against federal law enforcement. Because of reckless ideology, this district allowed our students to be at risk to sexual predators, and there are at least 6 registered sexual predators around DMS. And because of this ideology, it allowed an 11-year-old boy with an IEP to be standing separated from other students at Route 72 and Randall Road, calling his mother in tears. This is what happens when ideology comes before education and ideology comes before safety. I expect more from you. I'm not here to say, you know, I want people fired or I want change. That's what I'm here to say. I want students in the classroom learning, not running around the community. I expect more from you. I expect you to keep our babies. Yes, even a 17-year-old, that's my baby. And I expect them to be kept safe while they're here at school. And I think that if things like this continue to happen and fall on deaf ears, parents will cease. Parents are smarter than you think. We feel powerless when we come here and it seems like no one's listening. But when you come for a referendum, it might be a long time before parents are willing to open their pockets. Thank you for letting.
Our next speaker is Jerry Glogowski.
Hi, my name is Jerry Glogowski. I'm a resident in Algonquin. I'm a village trustee, and I'm also with many non-for-profits here in the village, the Lions Club exclusively. I'm here to speak what the other lady had just mentioned, safety of our children. I find it a little abnormal that this administration, the school board, would allow students underage to go out and protest without having their parents accompanying them. I mean, right now, you have right here, you got to be over 18 years old or have a parent or guardian in order for that person to speak. How can a 16, 17-year-old go out onto the streets in harm's way? There are a lot of reports from our police department about kids crossing illegally across Randall Road, along Randall Road, putting themselves in, again, harm's way. I just don't think it's the right action to do. I don't mind people protesting. We had it in Algonquin on Route 62 against ICE, against Trump, and all that kind of good stuff. Fine, that's no problem. But I think the parents should be accompanying their children. And I just don't understand, when you look at your security system in District 300, I looked at your website, like the Raptor Electronic, all the identification you got to have. What's going to prohibit someone coming there knowing this is taking place and cause harm to these children, like that other lady just mentioned? You're opening up a can of worms to have some idiot come here and say, hey, I have a feast on for myself. And you could have a shooter. And I do not want to see any child or their parents agonize over their child possibly getting shot by some nitwit. So, again, that's my take on it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Jennifer Krastowski.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Krastowski. I'm a community member, parent of two, also a D300 graduate. I want to speak about safety, student voice, and responsibility within our district. First, elopement. In a school setting, elopement refers to a student leaving a supervised area without permission or staff awareness. It is not about running away to get married. It is a safety issue. When a student walks out of a classroom or building unnoticed, the risks are immediate and real. Schools have a duty of care to anticipate risks, create supervision plans, train staff, and include appropriate supports and IEP and behavior intervention plans when necessary. Now, I want to connect this to something else that we are seeing more frequently in schools, ICE out protests. Students across the country have organized walkouts or demonstrations related to immigration enforcement and policies connected to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Regardless of where individuals stand politically, when students participate in protests during the school day, supervision and safety again become central concerns. Schools must balance two responsibilities. First, students have First Amendment rights. Second, districts are responsible for maintaining order and ensuring student safety. When students leave class to protest, it can quickly become both a disciplinary and a safety matter. Who is supervising? Where are students gathering? Are they crossing streets? Is there a plan? Whether a student leaves due to emotional distress or as part of a coordinated protest, the underlying issue for the district is the same: awareness, supervision, and preparation. We cannot afford to be reactive. For elopement, that means proactive behavior supports and secure procedures. For protests, that means clear policies, communication with families, and designated safe spaces for expression. Ignoring students student needs in either situation creates risks. Planning for them builds trust. At the heart of both issues is the simple truth. When students leave supervised spaces, intentionally or emotionally, schools must be ready. Safety is not political, it is foundational. What I am asking of this board is to pay more attention to this administration, represent these children. We don't agree politically most of the time, but we all agree that when a parent releases their child into a public school, they have the expectation that their child will be kept safe and in a location that a parent expects them to be. Neither was done. You have access to multitudes of people with mandatory Type 75 certifications and an in-house lawyer. Your question should be to them, how did you let this happen? Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Gio Winkler.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay. Hi, my name is Gio Winkler. I am a resident of Dundee Township, a taxpayer in Community Unit School District 300, and a parent of former D300 students. I'm here to bring your attention to a concerning situation involving an employee in the district's technology department that has recently come to light through public records requests and community discussions. Without identifying the individual, consistent with district policy, an employee was directed by Human Resources following a fact-finding meeting in January of 2024 to go home pending a decision that was to be communicated within 2 weeks. Instead, the employee remained at home, continuing to receive full pay and benefits for nearly 22 months until late October of 25, without ever requesting or being formally granted a leave of absence. Importantly, there appears to have been no board approval for this extended paid status. No board vote action documented this arrangement, despite the requirement for board oversight on significant personnel and fiscal decisions. Upon the employee's return, he was reassigned to what had been described as the lowest position in the department, a demotion from his prior third highest role. With his former position reportedly eliminated, he retained his previous salary, placing him above the maximum pay scale for the new role, and has been isolated, lacking a district email, phone, access to department colleagues, keys to his workspace, or even restrooms, and requiring supervisor permission for basic needs that others do not. He was informed that there would be no formal discipline, yet the treatment appears disproportionately harsh compared to the others in the department who allegedly caused greater issues, despite his greater experience in education. The official narrative from the department leadership has been that he was on leave, though records indicate no such request or approval occurred. This situation raises questions about adherence to district policies and state law, including D300 board policies, aligned with IASB model policies, accessible through the district board's online link. So, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Gigi Land.
Good evening. My name is Gigi Land, and I'm a parent of 2 former and current D300 students. Before I say anything else, I want to make something very clear. I'm a proud, multi-generational Mexican-American woman. I was blessed to be born here. I know that. I know firsthand the fears many families live with regarding immigration and deportation. I know people who worry every day about their status, and I also know many who have done the work so that they no longer have to live with that fear. So do not mistake my frustration tonight for a lack of compassion, because that is not what this is. This is about safety, responsibility, and leadership that failed. You knew the walkouts were likely, you had warning, and yet most schools chose to do nothing. No communication to parents, no clear warnings to the students that there would be discipline. At the very least, you could have told the students, if you walk out, there will be repercussions. Sometimes that alone is enough to make kids stop and think. I take responsibility as a parent. It's my job to raise my child, to teach them right from wrong, and to talk through difficult situations. But during school hours, we entrust the district to share that responsibility, to keep them safe, supervised, and accountable. Parents cannot help you reinforce expectations if we're kept in the dark and when the district enforces no consequences. Your own handbook outlines discipline for leaving campus. Your own policies provide structured ways for students to participate in civic activities appropriately. Yet, when the rules were broken en masse, suddenly enforcement disappeared. So what lesson did the students learn? That the rules only apply when it's convenient? That if enough people break them, it's acceptable? The schools enforce dress code, cell phone rules, they enforce discipline every single day. Suddenly, when students leave campus during school hours, put themselves at risk, we're told the district's hands are tied because the district can't interfere with their First Amendment rights. That argument is not just weak, it is absurd. I support students having a voice. I support civic engagement. But freedom of speech has never meant freedom from consequences. And the most alarming failure, accountability in the moment. Why wasn't attendance taken immediately when students left? Why wasn't every missing child identified right away? Why weren't parents or emergency contacts personally called to say, hey, your child has left campus and is unaccounted for? You relied on an automated message to be relayed hours later when those children could have been injured, missing, or worse, and their parents would never know. To the parents who supported this walkout, I challenge you. Organize a protest on a weekend on your own time where you, not the school, not law enforcement, not other families, carry the responsibility. Stand there with those students for hours. Miss your own commitments. Take ownership of the risk. Supporting something is easy when someone else pays the price. Leadership means you show up when it costs you. We deserve accountability. We deserve the district to enforce its own rules. We deserve common sense. You cannot claim authority over our children all day long and then step back when it's inconvenient. It feels like this district is more concerned about avoiding controversy than protecting and educating students.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Sharon Fetting.
Hello, my name is Sharon Fetting. I'm a community member, and my kids did go here a couple years ago. I'm just here to talk about the walkout that the schools had. Stop using our children for political props. If they want to protest, do it after school. I don't care what political side you identify with. Let's be concerned about academics since our scores are so low. If this was organized by the kids, where were the adults to say no? We have one superintendent and 7 assistant superintendents who probably make over 6 figures, all of them, I'm sure. Where was the discussion to say no to this? For their own safety. We made national news for a lost child. How embarrassing for all of you. I asked about the punishment for the kids who left, and this was the response from the district. Any instance of students leaving the building without permission is handled in accordance with those procedures. That tells me nothing. When we had our kids take the masks off, you put them all in a room for the whole day. You knew exactly what you were doing. Maybe my question really should be, how is the staff who let these kids walk out being disciplined? What is happening to them and those decisions? And plus, who handed those kids pre-made signs from a printer? The kids thought of that? That's total BS. We know this wasn't organized by the kids, and you should all be embarrassed about that. Stay in your lane and stop the indoctrination. Parents, pay attention to what's going on in the school district. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Christina Constanti.
Good evening. I stand before you as a concerned parent who's tired of inconsistent policies and selective enforcement in our schools. Recently, as you know, an 11-year-old boy, Richard Harley, was found alone wandering miles away from his school, Dundee Middle, during a student protest during a school day. An 11-year-old, miles away on Randall and 72. That is not a minor oversight. That is a systemic failure. At the same time, the approved Turning Point chapter at Hampshire High School has been stalled. So let me understand this. A structured, school-recognized student organization is delayed, but minors are permitted to leave school grounds during school hours to protest. That contradiction demands answers. A few years ago, I stood in this very room and exercised my First Amendment rights during a public comment. I followed the rules, I spoke respectfully, and I was issued a no trespass order from the district for over a year. So when adults follow procedure, they face penalties. But when 11-year-olds leave school grounds unsupervised during a protest without parent notification, there are no consequences? That is not consistency, that's a double standard. Now consider the Turning Point chapter. Students completed the paperwork, they followed the approval process, they secured a staff sponsor. They sought civic engagement the right way, through an organized, transparent, school-recognized channel, and yet has been stalled by the teachers' union. Why? What objective standard is being applied? Because from a parent's perspective, structured civic engagement appears slowed down, while spontaneous political demonstrations are accommodated. Policy should not bend depending on viewpoint. Either we support student expression equally or we do not. Just days ago, I picked up my 15-year-old from Hampshire High School 30 minutes early for vacation. I emailed ahead. When I arrived, she was waiting in the office, but she could not walk out until I came inside, showed my driver's license, and signed her out physically. She's 15, and the system required strict verification. Meanwhile, younger students were allowed to leave school grounds without supervision or parent notification. High school students must follow ID procedures to leave with a parent, but 10 and 11-year-olds can walk off campus. Parents are noticing. So, Dr. Smith, I ask you directly, what is a consistent standard? What safety protocol governs these decisions? And how can parents trust the system when enforcement appears selective? We're not asking for politics. We are asking for supervision, accountability, and equal application of policy. Regardless of ideology, children are not political props. Minors in your care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, item 8.1, good news. Board members?
High school students attend post-secondary career and transition fair. Junior and senior students from Dundee Crown, Hampshire, and Jacobs High Schools attended the District 300 post-secondary career and transition fair on February 5th. The event provided students with information about opportunities for life after high school, including college, career, trade, and military options. District 300 thanks the local employers, educational institutions, and community organizations that attended for sharing valuable insights and connecting with our students.
D300 hosts Black History Month event. District 300 hosted a Black History Month event this past weekend at Dundee Crown High School. The event was open to all community members and included food, music, line dancing, crafts, and vendors.
Westfield Community School students excel in national writing contest. Congratulations to the middle school students from Westfield Community School who are about to become published authors through the Young Writers Fright Club National Creative Writing Contest. Contest participants were challenged to write a scary story in 100 words or less, with judging based on creativity, technical writing ability, and other criteria. Top entries were selected for publication.
Algonquin Lakes Elementary School hosts Student Author Showcase. Young authors were celebrated earlier this month at Algonquin Lakes Elementary School during the building's Student Author Showcase. Students were invited to develop a short fiction story, graphic novel, or a collection of poetry or other piece of creative writing. Entries were judged on story structure, punctuation, and development of ideas, with prizes going to the highest scoring students. All student authors' entries have been bound and will be displayed in Algonquin Lakes Library.
Dr. Smith?
Dr. Frank Williams and Mr. Anthony McGinn will now give us an update and invite us to the next community workshop.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. This is super exciting, y'all, right? This is our Together for Tomorrow, our community workshops. The first one was an absolute great time. And we encourage everybody to come out to time number 2, which is tomorrow at Dundee Crown High School. Our Together for Tomorrow community workshops demonstrate what the efforts that we're putting into our master facility plan, but we're doing it with the community at the center of it, which is different for a lot of districts. We're trying to focus on the fact that we want community voice. So on January 29th, we held our first one at Jacobs High School. We had over 150 community members in attendance. Those are community members who currently have students, who have students on the way, or who no longer have students. Their voice is important to us. The presentation on that day focused on the state of the district. Dr. Smith did a wonderful job on presenting the state of the district, informing everybody. And I do think a lot of people walked away with some really good information. Attendees provided insights and feedback before and after the meeting. It's kind of a post and a pre and post test. Just the data we received back is fantastic, and we will cover it tomorrow night. We did have immediate focus areas, and there's 3 of those. We have growing student population. Dr. Smith shared with everybody that we have right now anticipation of 4,000 new students over the next 10 years. 4,000 new students over the next 10 years. Put that in perspective, that's about 2 high schools worth of new students over the next 10 years. Supporting students as staff as education changes. As we know, the education in the classroom is continuously changing, and we focused on those areas to say, are we changing with it? And lastly, we have our aging buildings and our infrastructure. The average age of a school is 49 years. We have 15 schools who has the age of the building is greater than that, with one of those being 77 years old. So our aging infrastructure was of high importance as well. So we encourage you to come out tomorrow night as we solely start to focus on that aging infrastructure piece. Now, turn it over to Anthony.
Thank you, Frank. I appreciate that. So the district was delighted to have over 150 individuals at our first community workshop at Jacobs High School. And we want our community to play a significant role in the next steps of our master facility plan. The district cannot emphasize enough, community engagement is critical to this process because it is the feedback from the community that we are going to use to inform our decision-making processes. So having 150 people at that first workshop, that is a great start, but it doesn't end there. We need more people to come out tomorrow at Dundee Crown. We also want to extend our gratitude. We have immense gratitude for all those who attended last month. So to the board members, to Dr. Smith, to every parent, to every community member who attended, please know that it is appreciated. Your feedback has been received, it has been read, and it has been incredibly instructive as we move this process forward. So what specifically did we learn at that workshop? The community feedback can be grouped into 4 different categories. We know that the community was talking about planning for growth in student population and expanding student opportunities. And these items will be expanded on the next 2 slides. The community also emphasized the importance of safety and security in our schools, and they communicated that in the event that we do move forward with any aspect of the master facility plan, it is important for the district to be transparent with how those projects will be funded. So during the community workshops, attendees had the opportunity to participate in small group activities that were intended to elicit feedback. We want to bring your attention to two topics that we heard from many of the groups. The first is related to that growing student population. There were multiple groups who referenced that those projections of 4,000 additional students, that piece of change is striking. And some groups emphasized that the district would need to focus on our infrastructure, and that will become an urgent priority. Now, we want the community to know that we have heard these concerns, and there are things that we are doing now and things we will continue to do. We're studying where that growth is occurring. So of those 4,000, where will they be residing and what schools would that impact? And we're identifying what space limitations in classrooms, in our commons areas, in our specialized learning spaces could be impacted. And then we also know what we're doing is we're evaluating our facilities. We want to know, do we have options that would allow the district to serve more students without reducing access to programs or learning opportunities? That's what we're looking at right now. The second piece we wanted to talk about was that the community mentioned that they have concerns about wait lists for electives, for advanced placement, for vocational programs. And if there's already concerns about a wait list now, what could that look like with 4,000 additional students in our system? As Dr. Williams mentioned, that is enough to fill 2 high schools. What constraints could that create for individuals seeking specific programming? How is the district responding? We're reviewing our program demands and identifying space limits where space limits student participation. What we want to emphasize here is that not all space is created equally. If an individual wants to take a course in welding, in autos, in electricity, those spaces require specialized equipment. So we need to make sure that where we have space, it's not constrained by student demands. We're also exploring facility solutions to expand access to our CTE, to electives and advanced coursework as well. Now, all of our recap information from that first community workshop is available online. We have an executive summary of what occurred. There's a video of the entire workshop. We also know that people are busy, so we created a 5-minute compressed video of just the highlights. All of the presentation slides are available, and all of the feedback is also available on that webpage, which is accessible at d300.org/togetherfortomorrow. And as Dr. Williams mentioned, we really do want to see everyone out tomorrow at Dundee Crown at 6 o'clock. The topic is going to be how school buildings impact student success, and 2 cool things about it. First, you're going to get a welcome from Dr. Smith, and there's no better person to set the tone for a positive evening. And the headliner keynote is going to be John Mickle, who is an amazing presenter. So if you have any interest in the topic, in Dr. Smith or John Mickle, we've got your bases covered tomorrow. So
My vote's on John. My vote's on John.
I think I'm going. So please register at d300.org/together for tomorrow. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Any questions about the workshop tomorrow? Looking forward to it.
If people haven't registered and they just want to show up, is that okay?
Yes.
All right. So no excuses that you didn't register. You can
Sign
still
up
come.
not necessary.
Next up, 10.1, 10, board discussion. Item 10.1, board committee reports. Are there any updates regarding board committees? The next meeting date? I don't know.
March 10th.
The next board operations committee meeting is on Tuesday, March 10th at 4:30 p.m.
Great. Okay. Item 10.2, board discussion. Do any board members have anything they would like to share or talk about?
In honor of, and I apologize for my voice because usual by this time of the day I'm raspy. In honor of Black History Month, I have 2 items I want to bring to everybody's attention. First, for the first time in the program's history, 5 African-American surgeons were named to lead the trauma and acute care surgery service at Johns Hopkins Hospital, one of the nation's most prestigious hospitals. The 5 surgeons making up this historic team are Dr. Lawrence B. Brown, Dr. Zachary Enuma, Dr. Ife Shiambo, Dr. Jerome Byam, and Dr. Elodia Gabre Kidan. The team is led by Dr. Brown, a surgeon and researcher researcher at Johns Hopkins Medicine, whose work focuses on the intersection of clinical excellence, health equity, and medical research. His medical background includes dual expertise in medicine and an MHP in health policy from Yale School of Public Health. His surgical training, he's currently a general surgery resident at the Johns Hopkins Hospital. He's part of the landmark all-Black leadership team I just mentioned. His academic pursuits, he has a PhD candidate in clinical investigation at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. His research, organ donation equity. Dr. Braun's primary research examines how structural racism and the availability of healthcare resources impact disparities in deceased organ donation. Health policy. His work aims to highlight novel intervention targets to improve organ donation among racial minorities and inform national donor rates for more equitable organ allocation. DEI leadership. At Johns Hopkins, he serves as the Vice Chair of Inclusive Culture and Internal Affairs for the House Staff Diversity Council, actively working to improve the medical community in internal culture. This team is creating history as we speak. The second thing I'd like to talk about is several months ago, the NEA and the ACLU joined forces to challenge the Department of Education's attempt to enforce its so-called Dear Colleague directive that sought to restrict diversity, equity, inclusion efforts at schools and higher education institutions nationwide. Recently, in National Education Association et al. Versus U.S. Department of Education et al., the lawsuit that was filed by the NEA and the ACLU to fight the Dear Colleague directive, the Department of Education conceded that the directive and the subsequent certification requirement have been formally nullified. This means the district court issued a final ruling the other day, permanently invalidating the directive and preventing the government from enforcing, relying on, or reviving it. As a result, the challenge guidance is no longer in effect and cannot be enforced against anyone, anywhere, nationwide. That's right. In response to the concession and ruling, Becky Pringle, president of the National Education Association, stated in part, across the country, educators do everything in their power to support every student so each feels safe, seen, and is prepared for the future. The administration tried to stifle speech and erase essential teaching and learning in our schools and universities. The courts rejected that attack on public education. Diversity is our uniqueness and our strength. Equity means every student gets what they need, when they need it, and in the way that serves them best. And inclusion means all students are seen, valued, respected, and have access to opportunities and support. Two events that occurred that are actually creating history this month. Thank you.
Did anyone else have anything? Okay. Thank you. Item 11, consent items. The consent items under 35,000 are standard procedure items or items that have been previously reviewed and discussed at the Board Operations Committee meeting and need no further discussion. Is there a motion to approve the consent items under 35,000?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Settler?
Aye.
Lamarcus?
Aye.
Lanemark?
Aye.
McKinday, aye. Melia?
Aye.
Burkett?
Aye.
Fiorentino?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Consent items over 35,000. The consent items over 35,000 are standard procedure items or items that have been previously reviewed and discussed at the Board Operations Committee meeting and need no further discussion. Is there a motion to approve the consent items over 35,000?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Lanemark?
Aye.
Settler?
Aye.
Melia? McKinday, aye. Lamarcus?
Aye.
Fiorentino?
Aye.
Burkett?
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item 13, roll call action items. Item 13.1, establishment and approval of board meeting dates, times, and locations for 2026-2027. Is there a motion for the establishment and approval of board meeting dates, times, and locations for 2026-2027?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Lamacher,
Aye.
Melia,
Aye.
Zettler,
Aye.
Landmark,
Aye.
Burkett,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
McKinney, aye. Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, and with that adjournment, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Landmark,
Aye.
Melia,
Aye.
Zettler,
Aye.
McKinney, aye. Lamacher,
Aye.
Fiorentino,
Aye.
Burkett,
Aye.